You have to go back to 1928, when in New York a neighborhood called Radburn was being subjected to shortcutting by automobiles. And the residents of Radburn were smart enough to rebel against automobile. And they hired some very smart designers to come up with a plan. They invented what we then called curvilinear design. In other words, they closed off grids. And they were smart enough in terms of urban design, said that the streets should curve so that when people are walking on the street, one of the objectives of Radburn was create walking environment rather than automobile environment. So there were trees and green areas and so on and so forth and walkways. But roads were curved so that as you were walking on the sidewalk on the street, you saw a varied perspective. There wasn't this wall of gridiron that had been traditional in North America for 200 years. So curvilinear design was invented in New York, called Radburn, then spread like wildfire in the enlightened cities of America and came to Canada. And the implementers of Millwood project were aware, I was aware definitely through my education in Liverpool University, because we studied Radburn to the minute details. As a matter of fact, I did a neighborhood design and introduced some of the concepts of Radburn directly into Millhurst subdivision in Millwoods. So it was done, and the same thing I told you about land development industry was created through Millwoods. These land developers were mostly engineering department graduates of the University of Alberta. They did not have the urban design education. So they copied Millwoods in terms of curvilinear design, and that was one of the things that backfired on us, because everything in Millwoods turned into curvilinear design, impossible to cut through, but also caused people losing their way. Nobody could find where they were going because they were coming from a grid system in the city, and here was brand new curvilinear design. And Phil Elwood and I subsequently thought that this had been overdone, because engineers in land development industry, they were copying what we had done as an experiment. But they took it as gospel, and they stamped everything curvilinear.